Thursday really is the best day of the week here on Breakfast with Vossy and Brandy. That is because of the segment that was the brainchild of Greg Alexander, Throwback Thursday. We've had some magnificent guests, but it is not often. They've been so good. Storytellers. But the number of guests that have actually come in is very rare. Glenn Boss came in. Remember Glenn Boss coming in?
Bossy last year.
Had lost the Melbourne Cups the night before, left him in a cab.
That's right.
Comes here. Yeah. Well, I don't think Hazem El Masri's lost anything. We're going to get into the full-blown interview shortly, but just
not only has he not lost anything, he's brought something in. I've just started. I'm eating. Yeah. I'm eating.
So you can watch us on YouTube and all that. Hazem, first of all, welcome. But Uber Eats, I didn't realise you were part of. Got a little side hustle going.
Great to see you,
Thank you, guys. Yeah, great to see you guys too.
Tell us about what you brought in. It's got the plastic over it. Brandy's already ripped a hole in the side. What are we eating this morning? That's about 5 kilos worth of something.
It's only about 1.5 to 2 kilos. That's plenty for you guys. It's just some baklava, so that you guys get to enjoy a bit of sugar rush in the morning.
No, but it's just like a Lebanese kind.
Yeah, it's a Lebanese
So it's a little tweaked on the...
It's one of them. There's, as I said, there's so much variety there.
Charlie, can you go and get us some coffee, please? We need some coffee to go with our sweets.
It's probably a little unprofessional, but I'm just going to eat on air.
It is, yes.
Hazem,
congratulations on your induction into the Bulldogs Hall of Fame. Vossy told us all about it on Wednesday morning after what was such a special night at Town Hall, and how well the Bulldogs did it. The night itself, celebration of 90 years, inductee of 3 former players. What a great night and what an honour.
Absolutely, it was a great night. Having family and friends, especially over there in Town Hall. I mean, you don't get to go to special places like that any time. So 90 years. Anniversary was fantastic to be part of. A lot of ex-players, a lot of current players and coaches, and the majority of the organisation of the Bulldogs, a lot of the major sponsors, fans and members. So it was really a great night to be part of.
To have members. You're talking about eras, because when you're doing 90 years, and you have like Peter Mortimer there representing the Mortimer family, Graham Hughes up on stage representing the Hugheses. I mean, we are getting into, they played there, like Graham Hughes, he played his first grade in 74. That's when he started. George Paponis started in 74. I'm sorry to remind everyone, that's 51 years ago. And then you get Clive Gartner on stage, and Clive is part of, he played, I think he came into grade 56. It's a great event.
Russell and Clive.
He's uncle, I guess, of Russell. Okay. Yeah. So it really was a great night. Folks, we want you to join in the conversation with the great Hazem El Masri on Throwback Thursday. If you've got a question to ask Hazem, 0457 736 736. You can fire in the text. Here's our Throwback Thursday guest. He's in the studio and he's come bearing food, and I've just got to eat some as we go to a break. A magic moment in the career of Hazem El Masri, brilliantly called by Rabs. That was in Newcastle. Still can see Andrew Johns, Matt Gidley watching the ball in flight over the head, and then the heads go down. Canterbury beat them. Now, the official welcome. We've got the entree out of the way, although we're still eating, obviously. Hazem El Masri, welcome to Breakfast with Vossy and Brandy.
Thank you very much, guys. Always a pleasure.
I'm going to let a listener start the segment.
Because that is part of the success of this, I think, the segment is the involvement of the listener. Getting questions in, things that we can't think of, but really opening up the guest and to what he did in his career.
Bulldog Jed says, thank you, Hazem El Masri, for the joy you brought to Bulldogs fans. My now grown-up children still remember fondly your last home game, being able to walk on the field after the game, and us making the large group photo that made it into your book. I still have the special Hazem caps from the day. Thanks for the memories, and also that grand final try in 04, which comes up a lot. Now, Hazem, your career, while the first grade career started in 1996, your last game was 2009. This is now the 16th season retired. What happened to the last 16 years, Hazem? Where'd it go? Where'd time go?
I'm looking for him. Yeah, look, it has been a long time, and I do miss it. I miss it heaps. As soon as you retire, I think I remember you asked me a question, one of the functions you emceed for the Bulldogs, Vossy, and I think you said, do you miss it or would you go back? And I said, nah, look, I've had enough. And that was only like about a year or two after it. But, man, I regretted saying that, that's for sure. I miss it heaps. And it's something, like I've always told people, as a player, you never want to give it away. It actually gets taken away from you because your body just can't do it anymore, you know. So that's the sad thing about it. If you're a tradie or if you're a doctor or whatever, you can do that and you can retire anytime at your own time. But as a footy player, sometimes it just honestly gets taken away from you because your body goes, I'm not going with you anymore. That's it. You're on your own.
We're just looking at the career was incredible. 317 games, 159 tries, 159 tries.
Yeah.
891 goals, 2,418 points. You were the top point scorer until that bloke that played 400 odd games and for the Melbourne Storm and just happened to pass you. He's a goal kicker too, Cameron Smith. But let's go back to when it started. That was your last game, the memory from that listener there. Let's go right back to the start when you weren't even in Australia. You were born in Lebanon.
Yep.
And so how long were you in Lebanon? When did you hit Australian shores? And then how did you become a rugby league player when you wouldn't have even known about it over there?
Absolutely. Look, I played soccer in Lebanon. So I arrived to Australia in 1988, which I was about 11 and probably 10 months, you know what I'm saying? So actually,
nearly 12.
Actually, February 5th, I still remember the day. Yeah, February 5th, 1998, you know what I mean? So obviously that year the Bulldogs won the grand final and that. And
could you speak English? Could you mind me asking when you came to the country?
A little bit of French at the time because that's the language we speak in one of the languages. Sorry, we speak Arabic, but and a little bit of French. But because of the war, there was hardly any schools obviously there because there's a lot of civil war that kept going on and off. We applied to go, I think, to Canada that time and to Australia. And both my uncles and my auntie were in Australia, and we just kept going back and forth until we actually arrived on a refugee visa. So
Unbelievable.
yeah, and then
Could have been Canada, but it was Australia.
Yeah, it could have been Canada.
You could have been an ice hockey player.
Yeah, who knows? Thank God it wasn't Canada, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so you get to Australia, you're
With
nearly
all
12.
due respect, but,
you're probably in 6th class or thereabouts, and getting ready to go into year 7.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to realise that there was another game other than soccer that you could play or that you might like?
Yeah, so look, went straight to Hampden Park Public School, which is in Lakemba at that time. We lived in Belmore, so I'd walk down there, and then, of course, after that, year 7. So I only went there for about 3 months, and then after that, Belmore Boys High School, which is where I did all my sort of high school years. Rugby league, obviously, look, going to Hampden Park, and in particular Belmore, they were just all big on the footy, So, but for me, it started at a local barbecue that we went to with my uncles and a few friends and that. And my cousins had a ball, and I'm like, "Oh, you guys want to?" They said they want to play, and I said, "Yeah, okay." I'm thinking soccer, And they said, "No." I'm like, "What is this ball?" And then they go, and then they said, "Oh, look, all you got to do is see that line over there. You got to put the ball down over there. We have to stop you, and then vice versa." And I was like, okay, that sounds all right, So they give me the ball and I'm just running straight and weaving through, because I've obviously got the fitness and got the agility because of the soccer background, and I just kept going through, and they're like, "Oh, this guy can play," you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I didn't know what was going on, but I just loved it. It gave me freedom. It gave me the opportunity to be able to sort of...
pick the ball up in your hands?
That's it, pick the ball up in your hands and run without anyone, and getting away from people. So... and I just loved it from there. I fell in love with the game, and I started to obviously watch it.
But you had to convince Mum.
How did
you do that?
That came way later, So in the meantime, I was, as I said, probably about 12 at that time when I started playing. In a barbecue and that. Yeah. And then obviously during school, you start to play and learn about the game, watch it on TV, and and you're like, oh wow. And then they ended up taking me to one of the games at Belmore Sports Ground, and I was just, as I said, I completely fell in love with it. It kept going on from there, and I continued playing soccer. I wanted to play rugby league for school at the time, and then my mum said no, and Dad, they go, look, just continue playing soccer for now.
This is incredible.
And we'll see how it goes. I played touch footy a lot for school, and locally, even for soccer training. I'd ride my bike for about 15 minutes to get to training, soccer training, but I'll get there an hour earlier. So you had all the islanders at Perry Park and Greenacre. So you had all the islanders, the Pacific Islanders, just go at it. About 10 on 10 in the park next to where we play
Ripping
soccer.
In.
Just one of the nicest people. No argument, no even talking. You drop a ball, they just put it down and they just walk off, and then they pick it up and they keep going all night pretty much. So I'd go there and play for about an hour and a half, and then go to my soccer training for about an hour and a half, and then ride my bike home. So, but it was so fun and it was so good, doing things like that, and that's just. I just loved it. Again, I had the passion.
This is the humblest of beginnings, like almost accidental rugby league player who goes on to play 317 games. He's now a Hall of Famer for the club.
He's an accidental Australian. Like, he could have been anywhere in the world.
Yeah. So what about the first time you actually put the ball on the tee? Because while we talk about the 159 tries and all you did in general play, goal kicking is a major legacy for you. So when did you become so damn good at that?
Look, again, I never kicked much goals until when the opportunity when Darryl retired. But before that, you always want to.
So hang on,
challenge yourself.
Were you kicking as a junior?
No.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. And Darryl Halligan's the first choice kicker at the time, as good as anyone. So
did you cross careers with Darryl? Were you playing?
Yeah. 5 years.
So Hazem's not the first choice kicker when he comes in the grade. His points tally would be up there with 3,000 if he's the kicker right from the get-go.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, look, being from a soccer background, you sort of want to just have a kick or two. So when I started playing rugby league, which is a year 12, and the same year 12, which is 94, I ended up playing for a local club called Info Federals, the junior club for the Bulldogs. Thanks to a friend of mine, Ahmed, and his mum, she come along, had a chat to my mum, and she said, "Look, listen, my son is playing. Get your son. I'll pick him up. I'll drop him off. Believe me, it's safe. It's I'll be there." And my mum felt very comfortable, with her, and then that's how sort of it started. But look, I probably had about 2 or 3 kicks when someone got injured for the Federals, and same thing for school.
Okay,
and
so you were
incredible.
Obviously, 12 when you really first picked up a rugby league ball. You then developed a love for the game. Did you play junior reps for the Dogs at all? No.
Again, look, as soon as I played for Federals in '94, and for school, we had a couple of selectors from the Bulldogs come in and watch some of our Commonwealth Bank Cup games back then. For school and all that, they saw me, doing some stuff and that, and I think guys like Billy Johnson, Gary Hughes, and all that. And then I got a phone call at home that time, and they said, "Why didn't you try out for our flag side or something at that time?" And I just said, "I didn't know about it." And they go, "Look, come down, be part of the squad for that time," and that was it.
That's the start of it.
At the Hall of Fame function, Hazem El Masri, our Throwback Thursday guest, you said you do remember walking into the Bulldogs gym for the first time, and there was a slogan on the wall what the club stood for, and you are deeply religious, of course, and your faith and the lifestyle you live. What was that slogan?
It's the first session. I looked on the board, and the writing had A, B, C. So A was train hard, B was play hard, and C was drink hard. And I thought to myself, had a young non-drinking Muslim kid, how am I going to fit in this one? I have no issue with the A and B, train hard and play hard. But the drinking hard, I've never drank beforehand, and I just can't do that. But again, like I mentioned, some of the players and some of the guys that made me feel extremely welcome. And guys like, as I said, Rod Silver that I roomed with was fantastic. Matty Ryan and Darian Smith later on. Stephen Price was always there. So all these guys played a major role, and in my development slowly.
So they respected
and no one ever,
Muslim faith
as part of a team, there's no one that ever begrudges someone if they do things differently.
No, absolutely not. They were more curious to know why, especially for me, different background and my different religions. So, it came along later on, the fasting, the halal food, so many other things, they just wanted to know. They were curious, and I was more than happy to actually provide the information. And if I didn't know something, I actually said to them, "Look, I don't know, I'll get you the answer properly," and they respected that. So it was fantastic.
The fasting, now, the Brandy, this is amazing. Like I'm not the athlete. You are Brandy, you are Hazem. Ramadan. So nil food or water by mouth in daylight hours. That's it, sun up to sundown.
That's it.
Like, how does that apply to a rugby league play? So no exceptions.
Yeah.
You stuck by like that. You observed that, and the Bulldogs had to appreciate that. You're doing training.
Yeah. I think the first year they didn't know. I just did it very, very tough though, So
you didn't say anything to anyone?
I didn't want to say anything. I don't want any excuses or anything like that. So it was tough, and it just happened to be, pre-season and, like summer, back then. Now you get in summer that's raining half of it. Back then it was summer, and but eventually, look, I had a word to Billy Johnston at the time, and I said to him, Billy, look, this is a situation. I do my fasting. I'm losing, a bit of weight, and backing up again. It's hard. Although I'm making sure that I'm hydrating well and I'm eating well at night. Because we didn't eat till about 8:30, like late summer, So when the sun goes down,
that's right, daylight savings.
Yeah. So we didn't eat till 8:30. So by the time you sort of backed up and ate and get ready for the next day, your body hasn't recovered enough. But to his credit, and I just worked out something with him that I can do the weight session on my own, as long as I do the ball work and the speed sessions and all that, with the team. And we, again, there's a trust factor there that he saw that I was keen, and I wanted to be able to sort of, manage things my way, and he had all the full trust in me.
That just reminded me, Payne Haas. Payne Haas is a Muslim.
That's
Payne
right,
Haas through Origin had to fast through Origin preparation.
Right.
This one here, g'day fellas, welcome back. A great interview with Hazem. What a humble legend he is. Thanks for all the great memories, sir. We need more people like him in this world. Thanks. Have a great day. Up the Dogs and the Wenty Magpies. Pat. Peterborough in South Australia.
Hazem, a lot of people here on the text line. There's so many texts still asking about the try against the Roosters 04 grand final, where you took an eternity to get it down. Now,
well, there's someone says, "Do you really think it was a try?"
Now, Hazem, honest man, humble man, Bulldogs Hall of Famer. You now have to answer the question: if you were in the bunker or referee, would you have allowed the try? Were you tackled? Should they have called held? Hazem, honest answer.
Mate, absolutely try. This is the first time I'm getting actually where you held up long enough. I'm getting, before when we got the double movement,
Yeah.
but it can't be double movement unless you hit the ground. I never hit the ground, So
true. That's true fact.
And that try epitomises what me, because I was resilient and I found a way. So I tried to get down low. I think cross, blocked my path that way, and then I just gathered my leg and froggily on top. Minicello was there, and I was able to sort of put the ball down. Look, they had the opportunity to stop it, but they didn't. So we've seen tries over the years, just because it was a grand final win. We've seen tries over the years that they've taken eternity to actually put it down.
So what you're saying is up yours, Roosters fans?
No.
Poor old Roosters fans, get over it. Get over it. Try. Hazem El Masri. It's there.
And it's a pretty good tackle too in the end. Was it Andrew Ryan?
Andrew Ryan, which I forgot to thank on
Michael Crocker
that night, which I feel very bad.
Bobcat.
All of this love for you. Surely Hazem would have been great at curling. Did he ever contemplate a code switch as a goal kicker when the Wallabies were snapping up league plays? I mean, if they took Hazem and not Matt Rogers, once you found rugby league, that was it. Rugby league, there was no, like the football, the love of football, as in soccer, that dissipated. And
No. Look, my full concentration was on rugby league. Although, look, I did get a few offers from rugby.
Did you?
One particular, from France, actually, to go there towards the last
top 14,
3 or 4 years of my life. But I couldn't see myself go. I was in my comfort zone, which provided me to play my best footy. And that's, for me, what I wanted. The community, the Bulldogs, my friends, my family, everyone was there, Although, as I said, again, towards the end, I got an opportunity to go to England as well and play for the lead Rhinos at that time as well for my last 2 or 3 year contract. But I just thought, if I go there, I'm going to be spending at least 2-3 years, and I can't come back as a 31-year-old winger. It's just, let's face it, it's too hard to get back into it. So I'll have to stay there for another 2 years, and I'm not staying in England for 5, mate.
No.
With all due respect.
So Nelly retired 16 years. How's life? How's life been?
Yeah, very, very
and the
good,
kids, how old are the kids?
Look, I've got 2 daughters and a son, one 22 and 20 and 16 now.
You really are old. Yeah, really are.
I just had him early.
Here we go. El Magic, my boss is a Knights fan, still complaining yesterday about the sideline conversion to win the game. It's 2002. Inflicting pain decades later, the Bathurst Bulldogs.
He's not the only
on
one.
the
Look, I love Joey. And I got a message from him yesterday saying congratulations about the Hall of Fame. And he said, why did you have to kick that kick? So I love you, Joey. I'm sorry, mate.
All right, a quick break here on Breakfast with Vossy and Brandy. We just got the news pressing, and then we'll wrap it up with the great Hazem El Masri. Well, the news was good again. Ladies and gentlemen, Hazem El Masri has been our Throwback Thursday guest. Too many texts to mention. This one, I'm a Rabbitohs fan, but absolutely love Hazem. I remember being very excited when rumours surfaced that he might join the Rabbitohs. How close were you to signing? Was Rabbitohs? Is that rumour or was that?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, during the salary cap dramas and all that. So the Bulldogs wanted to take a pay cut. I thought they were going to take a pay cut from everyone, but it turned out to be it was only me. And and I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. If everyone does it, I'm a team player. I'm happy to do that. So we ended up, I think everybody took a little bit of a cut instead of just 50 grand in 2 years from Hazem's contract.
Okay, right.
Because you arrived in Super League.
Yeah,
basically, didn't it?
I missed Super League,
Right.
so pretty much I missed the big money, I think, although I played in 97, which is a Super League year, and 96 was my debut, but all the signing.
The sign, 95 when everyone signed.
That's right, yeah, 95, and then obviously I haven't played a game yet, well, we'll put it this way, they invited me in the office that time because I got player of the year for under 21s, and I had such a good year, and they said, oh, look, you know what, we're going to give you an upgrade. And I was so excited. Under the table, my legs are kicking and going, yeah, okay, because you hear all these big numbers.
More than your legs, probably, yeah.
I haven't played one game in first grade, and you hear 80,000, 100,000, 200,000. So I was on $1,000 plus $5 grand for that year, plus match payments.
Yes.
And then they'll go, oh, look, we upgraded it from $5 grand. I'm like, I'm just excited going, yeah. To 8,000, I'm like, my face was like, what? 8,000. So I ended up playing first grade for $8,000 in 1996 plus $1,000.
That is
in that
time. Hazem.
Yeah.
Hazem, there is so much love and respect for you. I hope you know that, and I'm sure you know it from the Bulldogs people, but from rugby league fans, your story is remarkable. Is there a life motto? Do you want to leave us with some advice? And there's people saying, is there goal kicking advice? And
who do you like watch? Who do you like watching kick now? Like, who do you think is the best kicker in the game now?
Look, obviously Reynolds goes really well. I think Cleary is really up there because he's just got that motion, follows through, and all that. When Lomax is on too. I like the way he just goes through the ball now, but I think I'll have a word to him when I see him. I think lately he's been just sort of leaning a little bit more than usual, So, but I think the last year had a much better year. So, so there's a few kickers there.
They're pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the life motto? Born Tripoli, Lebanon, come to Australia, cannot speak a word of English as an 11-year-old, go through high school never having played an actual competition game of rugby league until you're 18. You go on to play 317 games, the games record holder for the Bulldogs. You are now a Hall of Famer. You play Test football. You play in Origin. You've played for Lebanon. You score all these points, mate. What's the life motto? What can you pass on, Grasshopper?
You're putting me on the spot now. But look, for me, it's always about just not giving up, to be honest. I've just been resilient in everything that you do. And I hated I hated when someone said that, you can't achieve it or you can't do it. So no matter what, I always took that personally and I went and worked on it. Again, goal kicking is a big... my career first started and people started doubting it, even though I got an opportunity to play first grade. So I worked extremely hard to get back there, so, and to make sure I belong there. Goal kicking, I had practically 6 to 2 months maybe to get ready and kick for first grade. And people started doubting it and going, oh, look, I don't think is going to be our top kicker. And I worked on almost every day, so just to make sure that I get to a position where I know where that ball's
You've done all
go.
you can. Yeah, you've done all you
exactly.
can.
So,
prepared yourself.
So I think the best thing is that just no regret. Just go out there, do do what you got to do and just have no regrets, because then that way, if you do fail, you fail with your head up.
Brandy, could you stand up? A standing ovation for our guest.
It's been a
Throwback
pleasure.
Thursday. Ladies and
It's been great
gentlemen,
having you in here.
Hazem El
You guys are
Masri.
too kind.
And can
Well
you
done,
come in
Hazem.
every week with
absolutely.
That'll keep us
I'll
going
come
for a few days.
Yeah.
I'll come deliver and leave. Don't worry.
Hazem El Masri, our Throwback Thursday guest here on Breakfast with Vossy and Brandy.
Thank you, guys.
Fitzy next.
You know, Michael, doctors say a proper breakfast includes eggs, bacon, and breakfast with Vossy and Brandy. So get your daily fix through our socials and listen live on SEN Radio.